Hello, welcome to the Solo Monk Show. This is Solo Monk. Today I'm chilling with my friend and old coworker, JAWSS, local bartender and gaming enthusiast. Today we're going to be talking about games.
So, I feel like with the insurgence of esports, especially over the last, year or two, people are taking it more and more serious.
Oh, yeah.
So, for instance, when I was a kid...
There's a culture to it.
There's a growing culture, and it's growing rapidly, but it's still in,
Bigger than the NFL crowd.
Yep, worldwide for sure. And legitimately worldwide, esports will be a top 5, if not 3 sport within the next 10, 20 years. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that. Esports is growing at an astronomical rate, and people are starting to really take it seriously. And I feel like there's really, really high ceiling to that. And with that being said, it's being shown that kids can make money doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, there was no future in video games.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to be a designer, but to be a designer, you had to be artistic, and I'm not artistic, so I was kind of fucked.
Yeah. And you also have to have money because you have to learn on a computer, which poor kids don't have access to.
Right.
So you'd have to be a poor artsy kid to be able to get into graphics, really.
Or a rich artsy kid.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
A rich artsy kid to get into graphics. Yeah. And that just wasn't me. And
that was a different time.
Different time. So it was I just happened to be pretty decent at video games.
Yeah.
But my parents always pushed me to do shit like play football and basketball and be on the track team. And I'm in the last tier of the 100-yard dash or whatever it was, 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting second, third to last. What the fuck am I doing? If I feel like, and my parents are really old school, so they of course had no chance of seeing it evolving into what it is now, and I don't blame them. But if they had pushed me to being a video gamer, dude, instead of wasting my time running the 100-yard dash, I could be preaching a different story.
Yeah. Well, video games came and went for me growing up. So I never really had... the idea of even playing them professionally is goddamn nuts. To me. I couldn't even have thought of that as a kid. But I also couldn't have thought of, just all the stuff that I do now. Willy-nilly,
Right. Well, nobody could have thought, of being a professional gamer when they were a kid because it didn't exist.
Right. Yeah, no,
that wasn't a thing at all.
The first time I noticed that there was even a culture around video gaming was, I guess, there's gaming magazines that I saw a few times as a kid. I think in the 90s. I know it was existed before then, but that's kind of the only thing I ever really noticed about it.
Remember when you used to get the gaming magazine and it would come with the demo CD?
Yeah.
Or the demo game?
Sometimes that's why I would buy that shit.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would get it, is just to play the demos.
PlayStation 2 was really good about that.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 was really good about that, and I think that's a lot of the majority of the games I got were because of the demos I played from that.
I remember when I was a kid, when we first got a PlayStation 2, we didn't get any games with it. I think we got it right when it came out.
Wait, you didn't get any games with the PlayStation 2?
No, all we had was the pack, whatever the thing it came with, and it was the first level of... you know what? Yeah. It was the first level of Crash Bandicoot and a few other games.
Okay.
And it was just on one disc and go through and play, here's all the games coming next fall.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, it didn't come all out. It didn't come out at once,
Right. There were very few games when the PS2 came out. And I want to take this time because
the PS1 already existed, and I don't whatever.
Well, and for those that weren't old enough to remember or even alive when the PS2 came out, the PS2 drop was far and away the biggest video game release drop, especially for a console of all time. People were lined up around. It was like a damn iPhone release, if not greater. People were legit lined up around the block for that joint.
I was just about to say, it seems like that is a specific thing to technology, But I also remember people doing that with Furbies in the 90s.
People do it with shoes today.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately, like it's anything that. I mean, people still do it with the consoles, but like anything that has like a veil of exclusivity to it.
Yeah.
They're
some kind of fetishization or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just remember the PS2. So, story time. I saved up money because I knew the PS2 was coming. Because those magazines we're talking about, I had a subscription to like the PlayStation magazine where I got the free demos every month. It would come in the mail. It was great. So I knew the joint was coming, and I saved up my money for like over a year. Christmas, birthdays, I worked. I was always working as a getting stuff, and I saved up money, and I saved up enough to like buy the PS2 before it even came out. And I gave it to my mom, and I'm like, hey, like, can you go get this for me? So the day before my mom gets off work, I'd given her the money. She went up to Walmart because we grew up in the country and there was no like GameStop or anything. It was the Walmart.
Yeah.
The one Walmart within a 50-mile radius. So she goes to the Walmart and so just goes up to the counter, asks if she can get in line for the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. She was the first one in line. As soon as she did, one of the employees that was like, he wasn't working there, but he worked there. Mm-hmm. Like he was just off shift. He's like, wait, you're starting the line? She's like, yeah. And he hopped right behind her immediately. She waited in line for 16 hours, dude, to get this fucking PS2. It was nuts. Or not 16, huh? I can't remember the exact hourage, but it was a hella long time.
It was kind of nuts that our mom would constantly, try to get us whatever the console was that year, Even if it did get repossessed every now and then, or we had to sell it or take it back or something like that, she still tried to get whatever we wanted, Seems like Christmases were like super huge in the 90s. Like,
Oh, are they not anymore?
Well, I don't know how they push out lines of product now. That's what I mean,
Right.
Like there's huge pushes on products in the 90s. Like every Christmas something specific came out,
Right. Like the Tickle Me Elmo.
Right.
And
People
the
would lose their
Furbies
shit every Christmas in the
over
90s.
Something.
Specifically, yeah.
I do feel like it's
the newest craze.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that with the console releases.
The new people freak out about iPhones still.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know like what kids are into these days. They're so into TikTok.
I don't buy shit, so I don't. Get stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I worked in Toys R Us for a hot minute, and even then, like when I worked there, and this was probably circa 2009 to 11, there weren't a lot of things that were releasing that were just killing it on the shelves. Like, there was one thing, I can't remember what it was called. It was like some toy and it popped out of an egg. Yeah. Eventually, that was the hot thing.
Was it like a Tamagotchi with a face on it or something like that?
It was more Furby-esque. It was definitely Furby-esque, but it came in this egg. Hatchimal is what it was called. It was called a Hatchimal. Yeah. And that was the big for like, I think it was 2010 Christmas.
I don't think I could work inside of a toy store.
Dude, it was miserable. Worst job I ever had.
Like,
hands down, far away. Toys R Us, worst job I ever had.
I already talk about like consumerism and late capitalism a whole lot, and I feel like if I had to watch this seasonal kind of influx of like garbage, future garbage that kids are just gonna like fucking destroy and then throw away, it would be a bummer.
It was a bummer, and the biggest bummer, dude, was just like, cause I did work in the electronics department,
right?
So, I sold video games all day, and it really bummed me out how little like parents cared. So like parents would come up to the counter and they'd be like, "Hey, I want to get like Grand Theft Auto 5 out of the case." And I shit you not, this is true, real like situations. And I would be like, "Oh, hey, just curious, like, who are you buying this for?" And they'd be like, my 10-year-old, 7-year-old, 9-year-old son, grandson, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Hey, just so you know, just like this is this game, you can like have sex with prostitutes, you can go to strip clubs, you're killing people, there's tons of foul language." And they're like, "Oh no, it's fine."
Yeah.
And you just told me he's 7.
Yeah.
He has no business saying that. And like recalling the story, it just reminded me of a moment I had like 2 nights ago. I'm friends with my nephew. He's like 10 on PlayStation, and he was playing GTA 5, and it tells you like on the PlayStation like what they're doing, and it said in strip club. So like my 10, 11-year-old nephew right now is like playing GTA 5, and he's just.
Did you not play Duke Nukem when you were young?
I did, but it was, dude. Go back and look at Duke Nukem graphics versus.
I'm
GTA
pretty
5.
sure there was some cube titties in there.
There were some absolute cube titties in there, but
some kind of pixelated something that looked like a chest, a female chest,
but
lady chest,
I've
a lady
played
chest.
my fair share of GTA 5.
Yeah.
And the strip club and that shit, dude. If I was 12 years old, 13 years old, playing GTA 5 in that strip club, I'd be sitting there fucking cranking it. Like, let's get real. Like, that's some real ass shit. Like, it's way too serious for any child.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't have a kid, and I'm I don't know if I'm gonna have kids, and I don't know what games I would even let them play. I don't even know if I'd let my kids watch TV. I think I might be that weird about stuff.
I mean, I feel like even some like M-rated games, I wouldn't care if my 12-year-old played. Like, if I did have a kid, I don't have any kids, but if I did, hypothetically, like if my kid's like, "Hey, Dad, I really want this Halo game," like, okay, you're 13. That's not like Halo's not that serious, or even like Skyrim. Like Skyrim, you can't get.
And there's also video games that are made specifically without any kind of weird content that you can just let your kids play. There's lots of games.
Oh yeah, there's tons of games, dude.
That Goose Game, Untitled Goose Game. Did you ever play that? That's the last really weird game I played or whatever that.
I know what you're talking about. And then they've got like Goat Simulator, where you're just literally
a goat.
You're just simulating a goat.
Yeah. It's funny, and then I don't know. It's entertaining for like 20 minutes. But the Untitled Goose Game is you're a goose who goes around and does mischievous things around a small village. You like steal people's keys, and then you like just take stuff around. I don't know. You just do some weird little goose bum ass shit.
Is it PC exclusive?
It is. I think it was on Switch.
It was on Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, I might need to pick that up then. And it's
Yeah,
just
it's
called
fun.
what?
Untitled Goose Game.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it out. That's the cause that's a weird one where like you just find yourself playing it for a really long time. I don't know. Keeps you just you don't know what's happening. And you're just like, okay, I guess I'll do this. What am I doing here? Okay, because you think, what am I doing as a goose? That's whatever. So it's hard to guess what you're actually doing as a goose. Everything else, like, okay, I start out as an alien. I got a gun. All right. There's some doors over here. I walk through the doors. Oh, there's people shooting at me. I probably shoot back at them.
Right.
Yeah, but if you start a game as a goose, it's different.
I guess I just do like goose things at this point.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much.
That's the whole situation. Just if I was a mischievous goose.
Yeah, he just steals like the gardener's keys. I think that's like one of the first things you do in it. And
wait, so there's actual like objectives and quests.
Yes,
and
exactly. Yeah, that's
to be
the
a real
funny
goose,
part.
you have to steal this gardener's keys.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you do that like all over the town. And every time you get through something, it opens up another gate, and you walk to the next part. It's kind of like if one of our ducks, like Azrael, got loose and was just like opening up doors and.
Just so you know, like, you do have, like, or just so the listener knows,
Yeah.
Solo does have, like, how many ducks living in your backyard?
There's 6 ducks in the backyard.
Yes.
Both my roommates, they mess with the ducks. They keep ducks.
Their duck game is on point.
Yes, they got ducks.
They got ducks.
Yeah. Joel has Azrael, and then there's the other 5. And a hawk just killed one of them.
Oh, that one ended up passing.
Yeah.
I didn't know. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Duck.
R.I.P. to a real one.
Yes. It sucks. I say pretty often ducks would be so savage with arms, but that's the one time that I thought, God damn, I wish they had arms so they could defend themselves from the goddamn savage hawks.
Well, he put up some, like, fencing and stuff.
Yeah,
over it
like
now.
bird net over so the hawks can't attack them anymore. But, Sucks.
So the ducks should be protected now.
I think so. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But weird video games. Crash Bandicoot was a weird one too, where you played. What was Crash Bandicoot?
What do you mean? What was he was a Bandicoot?
Bandicoot. Is that the real thing?
Yeah, Bandicoot's an animal, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, he was literally.
I'd never seen a Bandicoot growing up, so I thought it was all jibber jabber.
No, a Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. You know,
Bandicoot's a real animal.
I thought it was just some kind of gabby word or something.
Yeah, no, he's a Bandicoot.
Okay.
His name was Crash.
Yeah.
And his video game was dope, and it defined my childhood.
It was fun the way it was just set up. You could play it without having any context of what's actually supposed to happen. You just start playing.
Well, I mean, it was kind of like it was one of the first like 3D side scrollers.
Yeah.
Like, cause it was in the same vein as like Mario and Sonic, but instead of just going left to right, you had the option.
Yeah, I think the Sonic games got different after that game came out.
Yeah. It kind of like elevated the genre of just the platform.
Yeah, PS2 was.
Well, Crash came out on the PS1.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
the original Crash was on the PS1.
Well, then that story
I'm
I
fairly
told.
certain. I could be wrong about that.
Well, then that story I told earlier was maybe about PlayStation 1 then. Maybe that's what it was. Was it PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 that the Tony Hawk Pro Skater came on the disc?
The original was definitely PlayStation 1. I think the first PS2 Tony Hawk game was Tony Hawk Underground. Which is...
That's crazy to think
One
about.
of
That's what got
my-
me into skateboarding.
Oh, dude. That was one of my all-time favorite games. Like, I fucked with the Tony Hawk Pro Skater
I skateboarded
series.
for a few years.
Dude, I got that game.
Loved it.
So I got it for Christmas, right? When I lost my mind, and I immediately started playing it. And I remember one of the early scenes. Chad Muska, who was a big skater at that time, was in it. And his, he had came to your town. You got to create your own avatar, which it was one of the first like games that I had played, where you had like a lot of like customization outside of like the wrestling genre.
Right.
So it was more like story based or story driven. So you got to customize your skater however you wanted, which was really cool to me. And then like one of the first few scenes, like Chad Muska rolls up and you show out in front of him, and he tosses you his board at the end because you're skating this busted thing. And he tosses you his board, and he's like, "Merry Christmas, kid." And I lose my mind because it's Christmas Day, and Chad Muska just tossed me a board, and it's like, "Merry Christmas, kid." And I'm like 12 years old, and I'm losing my fucking mind. And I think I paused the game and ran up to my mom, like, "Hey, Mom, Chad Muska just wished me Merry Christmas on this game." And she's like, "That's cool," not knowing who the fuck Chad Muska was.
Right, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's nice, kid. Like, yeah.
And you were how old?
Whenever Thug came out, probably 12. So Crash Bandicoot definitely came out on the PS1.
Okay, yeah, the story I told earlier about getting the game pack was for the PS1 then.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's just strange.
And Tony Hawk Underground was released, let's see, in 2003, so I'd have been 12 years old.
I was old enough to party. No, I was 17. Yeah, I was 17 then.
Yeah, I was 12, and I was kind of like a kid as a kid. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of immature as a kid, so I was like.
When I was 12, I played my favorite game, Resident Evil 2. Let's see if I can check the time on that. But yeah, Resident Evil 2 was one of the first games that I ever really got super obsessed with.
See, I was always like terrified of games like that when I was a kid.
1998 Game of the Year, Resident Evil 2.
98. I was like 7 years old.
I was 12 and alone in a room with the lights off, playing this game, scared out of my fucking mind. And you've played it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played it
Yeah.
Or maybe not 2, but I've played Resident Evil.
Right. Well, it's the first game I've ever played where you're it's like kind of like a third person shooter. You know, like sometimes when you walk down hallways, you couldn't see very well in the first one. You know, that's the reason I stopped playing the first one. The way the camera was in third person, you could go to a certain point and not be able to see the enemy in front of you or the zombie.
Right.
And they would attack you. And so I didn't like the first one, but the second one, the camera angles they made more sense, and you can actually see the person as it's moving around, and the zombies too. And that made it way easier to play. But there would be portions where the people would break into the windows, like just reach their arms out, and you hear a crash. And then the lickers would just come out of nowhere, and the music would change. You know what I'm talking about? The lickers.
Yeah.
That shit would be terrifying, and I would always play it with the lights off for some reason. Oh, well, it just made it more real, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that though, especially at 12 years old, man. I don't even want that.
I was
30.
obsessed with zombie movies then. Like
at
I watched
12?
I would watch George A. Romero films.
Oh my god, dude.
Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead 2.
No, dude, I was not about the horror life as a kid, man.
Yeah.
I'm still not huge into it.
What's funny is now I'm not into it at all.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not as depressed as I was as a kid, I guess.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We're moving on up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now it's just, I don't know. When I see all the gore, I think about people actually being hurt. But when I was a kid, it all just seemed very abstract and stories, weird stories and stuff.
I remember the last horror game I played. It was called Outlast. It was on. I played it on Xbox 360, and the girl I was dating at the time, like, she walked in on me playing it and like sat down next to me, and I was jumping and shit, and she wasn't, and she was laughing at me. She's like, "This game isn't even that scary. Like, why are you jumping and stuff?"
Right.
And I was like, "Here, you play it." And as soon as she started playing it, she started jumping. She paused it and handed me back the controller. So I feel like part of with horror video games, I feel like part of it is like the immersion into the game.
Yeah.
I probably just sitting back and watching it, it's not as scary. But like really getting into the immersion of the game,
right.
I feel like really just.
Silent Hill still scares me as a grown ass man. Like if I'm playing it with headphones on, this shit scares the fuck out of me. Every time I see Pyramid Head, or they start playing the siren music and then like the fog comes in, it's terrifying with headphones on.
I'm good on all
and especially, if you turn off the lights and you just try to set the mood. Terrifying.
The one horror game I did thoroughly enjoy.
I enjoy it though. I mean, like it's weird, I have to like stop sometimes. It's strange, to scare yourself.
See, I was never big into that, but Dead Space, dude.
Oh,
Did you ever play Dead
yeah.
Space?
I've been trying to finish Dead Space 2 for like 8 years.
Oh, it's so good.
Or however long it's been out. I don't know.
I don't know if it's because I'm a super like nerd for like aliens and shit, or like the outer space fantasy culture.
It's fun. It's like the darkest, most fucked up elements of like the Alien movies or something.
Yeah, dude. The railgun on that thing was so dope.
The isolation and
being the only one there, and know you're about to get like attacked constantly. I mean.
Yeah, and there's certain parts of the reason. I guess I'm just not as invested as I should be, but Dead Space 2, I've been like playing that, and then I'd get to a point where I'm like, oh man, this is too hard. I don't want to do this. Or I would get kind of like spaced out from being so isolated in the game.
Right.
Makes me feel icky or something. I'm like, I need to put this shit down. But no, when I was younger, I loved survival horror stuff. Because there wasn't much of it, and I really liked horror films. So it just felt like, I was like walking around in a horror film.
Did you ever play,
even with the graphics as shitty as they were, it felt pretty real.
Did you ever play Time Splitters?
No.
It wasn't really like a dedicated horror survival game, but it had levels that were definitely like Resident Evil-esque. It was a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
But like there were certain levels that were scary as hell, man. And I don't know. I feel like that was one game I managed to get through as a child with horror, just because it was so damn good.
Yeah.
So is that? I guess that's your favorite like video game genre? Would be
Yeah.
the horror survivor.
Well, okay. Now as an adult, I like. It's been a while since one came out, but like I really liked Morrowind when it came out, and Skyrim, and I liked. Was it the second Fallout or the third Fallout?
Probably the third.
Which one was the breakout one?
Fallout 3, where like the first town you go to, you have the option to like nuke it. Is that what you're thinking of?
I think so.
Yeah, that's Fallout 3. That's one of my like all-time favorite games. Fallout 4 was really good. Vegas was really, really good.
I just didn't like any of them as much as I liked
3. Yeah, three to me is still the standout.
Yeah, because I guess it was because I never played a game like that, and when I play video games, for me to really get into it, I just want to be. I'm trying to like forget about myself, and I just want to get in something that I don't know. So the idea of familiarity or competition is not really like what I want to.
So you're using it more as a form of like escapism.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
To hit that competitive drive.
Yeah, some of the games I've had like emotional responses to are just like random games, like Dragon Age 2.
I never got into
Final Fantasy 7.
Yo, speaking of Final Fantasy 7,
Final Fantasy 9. I played twice.
They remade Final Fantasy 7 like mid to late last year.
Yeah.
And they just re-released it.
Yeah.
Or it was the remake, and they released it on PS4 as the free game for March.
Yeah.
So I've got that added to my library on the
That's
remake,
crazy.
and I'm gonna play that for free here in the upcoming days. I'm really, really excited to play the remake because I loved the game as a kid, man.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7. When I was a kid, I did not get it, and then I couldn't even get past the first little bit or whatever. I think.
See, I didn't touch it until I was
I was
in high
too
school.
damn young. I tried it when it came out, which was like maybe 96, 97, 98.
Yeah, it was like 96, 97.
I was too damn young, and I was just like, what the fuck? Why do I have to read? Like, I'm reading stuff. I'm like, and the way that the backgrounds were is like sometimes you didn't know where you need to actually go. And I think I was just too dumb and too young. And I didn't get it, but I held on to the game, and then later on, as I got older, I tried it again. And
It's so good, man.
super good. All those Final Fantasy games are like dope.
Right. There was a game I played, it was in the same vein as Final Fantasy, and we were talking about obscure games earlier, and this is actually one of my like favorite all-time games. Did you ever hear of Vandal Hearts?
No, I never heard of
Alright,
that.
so Vandal Hearts was like a turn-based strategy game. And it's kind of like one of those 3D chess games.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
I think I played something like that when I was a kid, like a 3D chess game on a console where like you're like a monster chess piece or whatever, and this I can't remember what the name was.
Was it
though.
Fire Emblem? Because Fire Emblem is kind of like the big claim to fame on this whole genre, where it's like it's RPG.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Turn-based. You have these little spaces you can walk to.
Damn, that looks
attack
nerdy.
spaces. Dude, it's dope.
That looks like maybe 2 steps away from just playing Magic the Gathering or something.
I wouldn't compare it to Magic. But it's a really cool genre, kind of underrated in my opinion. Fire Emblem Three Houses is like the newest one that I know of that's the genre, and I've got that for the Switch, and it was an incredible game. But Vandal Hearts is the same way, and that was one of those games that got slept on. And
I feel like Switch is a really good console for playing with friends.
see, I don't use it to play with friends at all.
Oh, okay.
At all.
I guess because that's the only game I've really played with friends in the past couple years.
I'm sure it is. I've got a friend that wants to.
People don't sit around and play Xbox Ones anymore.
See, I play with my PS4 friends like all the time, dude. Almost every night.
No, I mean like hanging out in a room together.
Oh yeah, because like the internet connectivity is so much easier now. Like back when we were playing games with friends, you're running AOL.
LAN parties was the most fun, stupid, boy, smelly, fart shit, dumb, just big dumb dickheads all hanging out. It was fun. It was just,
I miss the LAN parties, man. We used to rock the shit out of those LAN.
I'm not gonna pretend that it's like cultural or that it was super cool, but like it was one of the few times just growing up really rough where like just hanging out with friends. And I usually would have to borrow like a computer from a friend or borrow a console. Like I would always have a nerdy friend with an extra console and be like, yeah, Charles, come over, we're doing da-da-da-da. And I would always, it was always fun because it's just bros being bros.
Bros being bros.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Everyone has like snack food and just...
Yeah. And if you're lucky, somebody's mom made some fucking dope ass food.
Right.
And you get there and you've got like chicken spaghetti just waiting on you, or some pizza or pizza rolls or something.
Yeah, it was like a church lock-in, but way cooler.
Dude, I've gone to church lock-ins with like Halo parties. Like we're sitting in a church playing M-rated.
See, I think I was
full of like killing and stuff.
I was too old for that to be happening.
Yeah.
My church lock-ins, people just did prayers and we would watch Disney movies or something, you know.
I know shit. Went to a church lock-in that had a Halo 3 tournament.
Like, I went to one where they talked to us about sex and stuff. It was awful.
Yeah, mine sounds way more fun.
Yeah, I know.
Mine was actually a lit ass time. We played dodgeball. Like they preached to us for like 10-15 minutes, but it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so we were all just like falling asleep.
Just remember, we're out here killing aliens for the Lord.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was a wicked good time, man. Like, I don't know, but what's your favorite all-time video game?
Resident Evil 2, probably.
Resident Evil 2?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been meaning to have. Wasn't there was a HD remake, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a remake within the last like couple years.
Yeah, I've been meaning to pick that up because I mean that was like that game was so fucking good.
Let's see. Yeah, 2019 they did it. They did a remake.
Oh shit!
It's got 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 on Steam.
I'm telling you, man, that game ain't no joke.
That might be worth the pickup, man.
Yeah.
I think mine's Skyrim, dude.
Skyrim's up there, man.
Simply,
I have restarted Skyrim maybe 72 times.
My number's got to be close to that, and that's probably why it is my all-time favorite game, because it came out it came out in 2012, I believe. I'm pretty certain on that.
Yeah, they've been coasting on that shit.
So 2012, let's say 2013.
What the hell are they waiting on? I know.
You talking about for, like Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a long
it's
time.
been leaked. Like they're working on it.
You know, they released a sequel to Half-Life. Did you ever play that game as a kid?
Not as a kid. I played it a little bit later, but I know like Half-Life 2.
They teased they've
been teasing Half-Life 3 for 20 years now.
Exactly.
Almost.
Yes.
So
they just released a sequel to it, but it's on 3D headsets exclusively, like a new VR console. They basically sold the rights to the new thing that they were working on exclusively to a specific console.
Is Half-Life 3 gonna be a KFC console exclusive?
Something like that. Yeah. It comes with a KFC box. Yeah.
Buy a 12-piece bucket, get a free console, or
Yeah.
Buy a 12-piece console, or.
I watched a documentary on it. That's how nerdy I am. I mean, it's not like I'm nerdy about games specifically. I'm nerdy about how people make stuff. And it was about the studio that created it. Valve, I guess.
Yeah, it was Valve, because they did that. They did Team Fortress, and then they did Portal.
Yeah.
So 3 bangers of a game, and then they put them all together and released it and call it the Orange Box. and it's one of the best values in gaming of all time because you could get that joint for like $20. So you're getting Portal, I think Portal 1 and 2, Half-Life 1 and 2, and
that was another random game that I just got to sit down and play all the way through at somebody's house one time.
Which,
I just Half-Life 2.
Half-Life?
Yeah. And that game still holds up. I downloaded it maybe like 5 years ago, and the same shitty graphics that it used to be in, and it's still pretty fun.
Yeah,
and I can see where so many different games stole from them.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's kind of crazy. But I guess maybe it's not crazy because so many fucking people played it. That is not what I'm looking for. Video game. Yeah, Resident Evil 2's such a good game.
You know the one thing I really like love in video games more than anything else?
What?
Like choice-based video games. Thinking like maybe Fable. You remember like the Fable series?
Oh yeah.
Where you like, or if you did bad shit,
yeah, you became a
bad person, and your character and the world would evolve around like your decisions being good or evil.
Yeah, I think if I ever like have to prove why I should be in heaven, I'll be like, look, I couldn't even pretend to be a bad person in a video game. I would always play those games and feel bad every time I did something bad.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
See, I was the exact opposite. I'm like, I consider myself a genuinely good person. But when it comes to video games, dude, I love going like bad routes and stuff. Just because I don't do bad things in real life. So it's like, okay, this is a way to like do stuff. I don't know. It was just fun to like live a different kind of life for me.
Half-Life Alex, that was the one that's 2020.
Half-Life Alex?
Yeah.
Is that with a Y?
Yeah. Silly.
Now what was that? Was that just like a teaser trailer? Or?
It's
no, it's
VR
legit.
return. Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah, I mean, it's very legit.
Half-Life Alex, a VR exclusive. That might be enough to make me want to actually get a VR headset.
Oh yeah, I mean the video for it looks nuts. If I had like a Joe Rogan setup, I would show you, but the sound would probably be weird.
You know what game I'm really excited for?
What?
They released a trailer for a new Harry Potter game. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
I never really cared for the books or the movies. It was just whatever to me.
I think I was too old for it.
See, I wasn't. I grew up around that time, and it just never resonated with me. But this video game, dude, looks so dope. Full open world RPG set in like Hogwarts worlds.
Yeah, where you get powers and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Being a wizard is a cool idea.
Exactly.
Harry Potter shouldn't have just being wizard on lock. Like,
right.
Being a wizard happened before then. It sucks because I don't know. Magic is interesting, you know.
Right.
It's pretty cool. It sucks that if you have any kind of interest in it, that's your only gateway at this point. It's like, oh, you like Harry Potter, and you're like, no, I meant more like I don't know, all the string folklore and stuff. Is
like Merlin.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and then there's what is his name? Alan Moore. Is it Alan Moore that did Watchmen?
Your guess is better than mine on that, brother.
Yeah. Alan Moore, I think. Yeah, Alan Moore, who's the writer of Watchmen and V for Vendetta. He's really into like weird Celtic folklore.
Oh, he wrote
European folklore and just all kinds of stuff. And he thinks magic is real. It's kind of interesting.
He wrote The Killing Joke too.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite like graphic novels.
Yeah, this dude actually thinks magic is real. Which, I mean, if I wrote all that dope stuff, I would probably think magic is real.
To me, magic being real is less far-fetched than like the world being flat.
Yes. Yeah, I think if you're using it as if you're saying that in hyperbole, then sure,
Right.
magic is real. It is magical that we can make noises and communicate to each other, and that we like can like gain influence over each other by talking in weird ways.
Well,
That's
you
magic.
can do that.
Yeah, that's magic. If you look at it a certain way, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, but man, how do we get into that?
Yeah, we kind of took a deep dive there.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Video games.
So we did favorite game.
Yeah.
Yours been Res Evil 2, on Skyrim.
Favorite series.
Favorite series? Mine probably is the old SmackDown versus Raw WWE games.
Holy shit, yeah. Yeah, that's me and my brothers used to play wrestling games together. So
Wrestling games were dope in the 90s.
yeah,
and,
I didn't even
early
like wrestling
2000s.
that much, you know. But
See, I was a huge wrestling kid, and then like with the there had been like pretty good wrestling games prior, but with SmackDown versus Raw, they added like a legitimate storyline and everything.
was there one called NWO versus WCW?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that was, I believe, 64.
Yeah, 64. I played a lot of wrestling games on.
Yeah, 64 had some good ones. They had that. They had WWF No Mercy. They had WrestleMania 2000, which was my favorite game on the 64.
Yeah.
Earliest wrestling game for a long, long time.
My favorite game on 64 is probably Mario 64.
Mario 64, tried and true classic.
Yeah, I played through that like 5 times.
I always asked Raymond.
Or James Bond, I guess, was the 007 was on the 64.
The GoldenEye?
Yeah.
See, Smash Brothers is probably competing for that spot with me. And every time I saw Raymond for the video game nights, I would always ask him, hey man, you have Smash Brothers? He's like, no, I'm not buying it. It ruins friendships. And I'm like, no.
I think I saw someone else get into a fist fight over Smash Brothers before.
I believe it.
Yeah, that's funny. But 64, 007, people used to get straight heated. People would be like, you don't want these, I'll beat your ass. Like, people would like threaten each other on the 007. It was kind of weird in our neighborhood, people, like how we would play video games in that way.
Yeah, we never got that intense over the 007, man.
Yeah. Well, it never came to anything physical. It was just like, all right, I'm going to beat your ass in 007, you know?
See, I think the most competitive game we had probably was in my high school years. They came out with a UFC game, like the first like legitimate.
Oh shit!
Like THQ got on board and did a legitimate UFC game, and me and my buddy Cody, or Danger, who I was telling you about earlier, who was really good at League, we ran that shit, dude. We went to.
I got my ass kicked in
we would go on. I think our best streak online was like 40 plus wins in a row, and we were using like weak ass characters, just having fun, and nobody could stop us. And then at that point in time, we were going up to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the fights like once a month. Or at least once every other. Anytime there's a real good fight on, we'd always drive up to Buffalo Wild Wings and go watch it. And we found out they were having a UFC tournament, like a video game tournament before the next fight. So we were coming in to watch the fight, and we showed up like a couple hours early to participate in this UFC tournament.
Yeah.
And so we're going through, and it's apparent 90% of the guys there that are in this tournament don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, they've never picked up the sticks on this game before, and if they have, it's maybe once or twice, and they just they're not good at the game. So somehow me and my buddy Danger, we end up on opposite sides of the bracket, and I'm going through and I'm looking at my opponents, like, and I'm telling them how I'm gonna beat them. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna put you in a rear naked choke with a minute left in the first round, and then I'd turn around and do it, and I'd make it happen, or what? And I did that the entire time until it came down to me and just Danger in the finals. And when it got down to the finals, the way the Buffalo Wild Wings we were at was set up, it was like you had your like main dining room, and then the bar which was where the tournament was being held, was kind of at the back, and you had to like go through like these glass doors to get to it.
Yeah.
So we're in the bar playing this, and then they turn like the final fight, which is between me and my buddy Danger. They put that on every single TV in the entire Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant, like it was part of the UFC fights. Mm-hmm. And so me and him are going back and forth, and we're really neck and neck, as we always have been in this game. And I finally catch him with a flying armbar, and he taps out, and the whole restaurant loses its fucking mind, dude. Like, I just hear it from behind the glass wall, just the entire building losing their mind. And I didn't even realize like it was being broadcast until I looked up and saw like, oh shit, everybody's watching this.
Yeah.
So
competitive gaming is gonna replace sports.
Oh, I believe so wholeheartedly, especially if we keep getting these like pandemics and shit. But
yeah, I mean, people want to watch something competitive. I mean, it is fun to watch. I mean, it's stupid, but everything is stupid. So
right.
I mean, you know,
how is it more stupid than watching 11 dudes fight each other over a ball every Sunday?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like when people are like, it's why would you know, like there's no skill to it. It's like if there's no skill to it, why do you fucking suck at it?
Right. Right. Why aren't you making 6+ figures a year doing this shit?
I mean, here's the thing: if you can assign value to something, then it has value.
It has value.
Yeah. I mean, that's the easiest way. It's like, you know, your opinion doesn't assign value to things. There's value, and it just.
And the good thing about video games to me, man, that like gives it an edge over like, you know, traditional sports is there's no like real barrier to get into it. You know, I'm 5'7", $130.
It's for the proletariat. It's for everybody.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly, and you know, like just because you've got physical limitations doesn't mean you can be limited.
Right.
And there's so many options.
You can be in a wheelchair and be like the dopest
League of Legends player in the world, like,
right,
and make millions of dollars a year playing a video game without ever having. But you wouldn't be able to do that and be in the NFL.
And you can be the dopest whatever, and it doesn't matter what your gender is either.
Right. Or if you're gendered at all.
Yeah, or you can be non-binary.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter. Like you can be.
You could just be dope at it.
Yeah. And I feel like the gaming community, as a whole, is really accepting.
It's better than when I was younger.
Right.
When I first started playing online video games, racial slurs and bigotry and all kinds of crazy shit would be said on the mic, and they didn't monitor it at all. I think you could report people, but nobody ever got reported.
Right.
Like in Halo.
Yeah,
like the first Halo and the second Halo, like playing online, people would just say crazy I mean, like just, all kinds of awful things.
I mean, you're always going to run into those bad eggs during the game.
I think it's better now, though.
To an extent. I mean, you still got
people just tell you suck. I mean,
and I mean, there's even certain games where I trash talk. I'm guilty. I typically don't. The one game I'm guilty of that on is Rocket League. I talk a lot of shit on Rocket League just because I don't like it. I don't like the game. I just get dragged into playing with my buddies. So that's how I
play it with my brother.
Like, I talk shit to keep to keep myself entertained, and I just really focus on blowing up other cars. If I get less than 3 demolitions a game, I'm upset with myself. Mm-hmm. Like, so but I don't like tell people to go kill themselves or anything. Like there's definitely
that's a tough game to play if you like games where you have control, because you're just fucking running your car into a goddamn ball and it's bouncing around.
If you're good, you can control.
Well,
your car,
that's true. I'm garbage at it. So.
I'm trash at it too, and I'm not.
What I'm saying is, like, the one thing you can control is just demolishing the cars.
Right.
That you can just drive as fast as you want at a car and blow it up.
Right.
And sometimes you go after the ball or something, and somebody hits it before you, and then you just end up driving up the wall and just. Rocket League is not for my mindset.
Yeah, it's a mess, but.
I think that's definitely a teenager game, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's pretty much for just about anyone, but I mean it's less teenager-ish than like Fortnite.
Oh my God, yeah, Fortnite's super weird.
Yeah.
In that sense or whatever, where it's like everything's cartoonish and the violence also seems kind of cartoonish. And
Yeah, it's definitely geared towards like
12-year-olds.
yeah, 12-year-olds and
Like 12 to 22-year-olds or something.
I'm kind of ready for that battle royale genre to die out, man.
Oh, me too. Me and my brother, that's something we talk about all the time. Like, hey, when are they gonna put out like real games again?
Yeah, let's stop seeing the Apex and the Fortnites.
These free games.
Yeah.
That, I mean, they're just like endless DLC. That I think the new Call of Duty is supposedly like you won't be able to have any other game on your console.
Oh, because the download file is huge.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
Yeah.
It's like
what is
400 gigs or something.
what is the point of buying a hard copy of anything if you have to download it and then also download more from the internet? You might as well just get it off the internet. Like,
the only upside to it is being able to resell it when you.
well, I bought Resident Evil, the Red Dead Redemption 2. Was that one that came out like 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, Red Dead 2.
Yeah, Red Dead 2. I bought that one and bought the physical copy of it. And when I downloaded it, it basically said that you couldn't resell it. And now it doesn't even work. And I can't even use it. And
Really?
It doesn't recognize the disc for some reason.
That's weird.
And it says I have to prove that I own it. And I thought I did register because it worked for a while.
See, I haven't booted up Red Dead 2 in a while, so I couldn't tell you, man.
Right. But it was fun while I played it.
Yeah, it's a good game. It was. This was a debate I had. It's like, which is better, the original Red Dead or Red Dead, or not the original Red Dead, because that was Revolution, and that game was mediocre at best.
Right.
But like the original Red Dead, was it Red Dead Revolver? Shit, now I confused myself.
I can't remember.
Anyways, the first Red Dead that Rockstar did.
Right. Yeah.
Versus Red Dead 2, which was better, and I think like the story and. I mean, the first Red Dead was so, like, revolutionary because you had, like, the random pop-up events where, like, you know, you'd see the mistresses stranded on the road and it would either be legitimate or it could be a hustle and they'd be trying to kill you or
that was,
rob
like,
you.
kind of the fun thing about Red Dead 2 is that kind of stuff still happens.
It did, but it felt to me a little bit more forced.
Right.
And it
felt like a checkpoint that was always going to come up.
Right. It was, you were expecting it, whereas in the original Red Dead, it just was like a thing that was you happened to come across. Like it felt more organic and natural.
Yeah.
Whereas Red Dead, it did seem a little bit more, or Red Dead 2, it did seem a little bit more forced.
Yeah.
But my main gripe with Red Dead 2 was just the fucking distance between objectives.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Spent so much damn time just galloping on your horse, just
running,
waiting to get somewhere.
Yeah.
That was my big.
That is why I stopped playing it. And I had
Was
this
it?
huge, I had this huge gap where I would play it every once in a while, and then I would just get to a point where I'm like, I gotta go where? Oh my god. I'll do that tomorrow, and then like tomorrow would never come, and I just wouldn't finish the mission or whatever it was, which is so stupid and lazy. Being like, oh, I gotta go across this digital map. Oh no, I ain't doing that. I ain't trying to do all that tonight. Damn, that's a long ways away.
I'll do that never.
Yeah, but that's kind of why I would like take breaks and playing it.
So, what are you playing now?
I'm trying to get into Dota 2.
Trying to get into Dota 2?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I like playing it, but I'm garbage at it. So I'm just playing the bots.
Just trying to practice?
Yeah, because when I play, well, there's no really good narrative game out right now. Like, something you can really dive into. So I'm just trying to find something that I could just pop in and out of, get a match, pop out, you know?
Yeah, I think all the games I play right now are those kind of pop in, pop out.
Yeah, because I don't have time to actually sit down and play a video game like I used to. So
like right now, I'm rocking NBA 2K game you hop in and out of.
Yeah, I love basketball games because I love playing basketball, but playing online just pissed me off. Like, people, if you have money and you spent money on your character, you're like, 50 times better than everybody else.
Well, with 2K, at least 20.
So I gotta drop $100 if I want to like play online with that game.
See, I got a good deal on it. I
love basketball, but
I got the game plus 100K VC for like $20. So I was able to like hop in, drop the VC on a character, and make him pretty viable off the jump.
yeah.
So I kind of lucked into that, but they're ripping you off, man. 2K can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. And I think one time they just like they asked me to prove that I own the game, and I was like, I bought it from you. How do you?
Why do you keep having this problem with games?
I don't know.
I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah, it's just like an Xbox One thing. It never happened to me before Xbox One. They just randomly like, I'll just get a message when I try to play it. It's like, prove that you own this game. Like, I bought it from you, asshole. Like,
how do
what?
You expect me to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't get how they don't know that I bought it from them and it's downloaded on my console.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
weird.
Pretty much when they switched to like downloading onto the console, I stopped fucking with consoles. I mean, I have one, but it pisses me off because I'll lose a game. It'll just be like, yeah, prove that you own this game. Like, how do I prove?
Had that issue with my PS4.
Yeah, it doesn't do it with the free games. It's just the ones I paid for, which really piss me
Which
off.
is even worse.
Yeah, I know. And then I get pissed off, and then I won't play the motherfucker for like 2 months. But yeah, I mostly just play now with my brother online.
Yeah, so I just play with really my best friend and another buddy of ours.
It's how we do social time now.
Yeah, same.
I mean, just like everybody works so damn much that like you're just like, yeah, I can hang out with you for like 20 minutes on Thursday.
Right. I'll be on
at 4 a.m. Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Any games you've got coming out soon that you're excited about?
I would like to play Cyberpunk.
So I've got Cyberpunk.
Really?
I got it on the midnight release. It was trash when it came out. There's
like a bunch of glitches and
yeah,
stuff.
it was really rough. It's still pretty fucking rough. But
they promised too much with it, man.
They overpromised.
It's like No Man's Sky. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah, but that game got super fixed. They turned that game around.
I know. I'm just saying, like, the huge lead up and then the drop
into the release, and it just it was. I learned a lesson.
They're like, this is gonna be the greatest game that's ever
and
existed.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
I learned a valuable lesson with Cyberpunk, which was don't get your hopes too up. Like, don't get them too high, man, because they'll let you down.
I was gonna wait for people to play it for about a year, and then I'm gonna.
See, I wasn't. I was all in day one, man. I've been watching that game 3 years. I was fucking all in.
The last time I bought a game the night of is like one of the Arkham series, Arkham Asylum or something like that.
Yeah, which was probably worth it because the Arkham series was pretty dope.
Oh yeah,
it was so dope.
It was a solid like 20-hour playthrough or something.
Yeah, that was my one complaint with the Arkham series is they were kind of short. But don't let me sit here and shit on Cyberpunk. Despite its flaws, it's still a genuinely good game. That if you like RPGs,
and they'll fix it.
Yeah, and they have fixed quite a bit of it.
The way they make games now, DLC is supposed to come out and fill it out for like the next
not
5 years.
They
want it to be
DLC.
5 years or whatever.
You've got like day one patches, and then your first month patch, and then 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
They continually strive to fix the games, which I don't know how. That just lets them release bullshit on day one, but.
Yeah, I wish I would prefer hard copy things.
Well, even hard copies now, you're still getting patched.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I wish games would go back to being like, you could go buy like, a video game at Movie Gallery 10 years ago.
And it'd be a final game instead of the shit we get now.
Well, actually, it's like 12 years ago. You can go to a movie gallery and buy a hard copy of a video game, and it would be the exact video game. And you can go play it anywhere, and you don't have to hook up anything.
Right.
You just play it, and it's dope.
You can still...
And talk to your friends about it, and,
you can still pop in Spyro the Dragon today, and it's the exact same game it was when it was released that day. Whereas, Cyberpunk... The game, if I loaded up Cyberpunk right now versus when I loaded up day one, it's completely different.
Yep.
The game that's coming out that I'm really looking forward to, besides the Harry Potter game, is actually they're remastering the Mass Effect series.
Oh shit.
1, 2, and 3. They're doing a remaster on. They're bundling them together. I love the series. I played the 3.
I have played all those. I just remembered that I played all those and I enjoyed all of them. And
they were
dope.
all 3 solid.
They're just so far apart that I forgot.
Yeah, not only did you forget, I played I think all 3 on 3 different consoles.
Yeah.
And like the main appeal for Mass Effect is like, yes, one, your decisions in 1 you're gonna feel in Mass Effect 3, but because I didn't play them on like the same console, my decisions never carried over.
I think that was the same thing with me too.
So it was never a continuous game like it was designed to be.
I played them so far apart.
They're gonna re-release them, remaster them, and then it's gonna feel like one continuous game. And I'm so
shit
stoked for that.
Dude, that actually sounds dope.
I cannot wait. That is.
I remember there's a lot of funny kind of ways you can go with your characters. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of funny conversations that you can have with random people, you know?
Yep.
And the storyline of it is super good.
It was. And that was like one of the first, if not the first game I remember having like a sex scene in it. Mm-hmm. And it was super cheesy. It just had like the fucking hand on the steamy window. And it,
right.
But you're like, yeah, my boy's getting some pussy. Get some alien pussy in there, man. That shit was wild.
Yeah, the game's really good. Or all those games are good. But they're pretty far apart.
They were spaced out considerably. That's why I'm excited for the remaster of all 3, so I can sit down.
Mass Effect series. Yeah, 360, PS3, Windows, Xbox One, Wii U.
Did you ever have a Wii U?
No. I've pretty much I've stuck with the Xbox series because they, for some reason would always come out and sell really well, and then like the following year they dropped the price really low, and I would always buy the video games like a year after they came out and stuff. Same thing with the consoles. 2007 for Mass Effect, 2010 for Mass Effect 2, 2012 for Mass Effect 3, 2017 for Mass Effect Andromeda.
It was like kind of like a spin-off. I have it. I didn't enjoy it. It felt,
I was about to say I never played that one before.
It felt like a spin-off game would.
There it is, Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Did they have a release date for that yet?
May 14th, 2021.
Okay, so tentatively.
Wait, this compilation announcement will be May.
So tentatively May of this year.
Yep. Yeah, I'll probably download that.
On PC,
Wait,
Xbox, and PlayStation.
Oh, I bet it'll be like $100 though.
No, dude, I guarantee you it's 60.
No, that'd be cool.
It's dropped. I can almost guarantee it's drop on the $59.99 price point.
Yeah. Alright. Well, it was dope talking about video games.
Yeah, man. That was a hell of a good time.
No. Alright, thank you guys for listening. Have a good day, evening, whatever.
Y'all take it easy. Love you guys.
Peace.